So hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video, we'll be discussing about saving of Mudarabah. As we can see here, there are 5 subtopics which we will be discussing about definition of the contract, key elements, how Mudarabah works, related issues, and finally the importance of the contract. So let's begin with definition of the contract. Mudarabah is a form of contract between capital provider which known as Rabbul Mal and an entrepreneur as known as Mudarib. Mudarib will manage the fund provided by Rabbul Mal in order to increase their profit. So profit generated by the capital will divide by them based on agreed profit sharing ratio. However, Rabbul Mal will bear any financial losses if the capital was lost, as long as the losses are not due to the breach of specific terms such as laziness of the fund manager and negligence made by the fund manager while manage the fund. So next, let's venture into key elements. So first, contracting parties. There must be two parties involved in the contract, which are capital provider and capital manager. Next, capital and business venture. Capital provided by Rabbul Mal will be allocated by Mudarib whether to run the business venture or investment activities. Offer and acceptance. There must be an offer and acceptance in the contract, and both parties must acknowledge the terms in the agreement in order to make the contract valid. And last but not least, predetermined shares of profit. The percentage split of the profit generated by the capital must be clearly agreed upon the contract was created. So next, as we can see, there are illustrations of how Mudarabah works. So first, Rabbul Mal will invest some amount of money to bank or entrepreneur. So bank entrepreneur will manage the fund by allocate the capital whether they want to use it in investment or to run their daily operations. So the fund use whether if its generate profit will be shared among them, and Rabbul Mal will face losses if the fund didn't generate any profit. So next, let's see about related issues. So first, high risk and capital burden. This type of investment considered high risk that will make implementation difficult. Capital impairment risk. Capital impairment risk because the Rabbul Mal will be the only parties will face losses by the investment. However, the Mudarib will not bear any losses. Rate of return uncertainty until the end of the period. Next, information problems and moral hazard. Mudarib possess more information regarding project's profitability, and Mudarib or partner may fraud the data to avoid paying agreed shares. So let's talk about Mudarib possess more information regarding project's profitability. Mudarib are the one to know exactly what happened to the fund, and they can easily manipulate the data in order for them to increase their profit. So last, customer reluctance. Rabbul Mal and Mudarib will never really dare to inherent risk with Mudarabah financing because this high risk investment usually make the investors lose some amount of their money. So next, let's see importance of the contract. First, it is to enhance the Sharia and regulatory framework in Malaysia. So these serve as guidelines for the Islamic financial institutions in developing Islamic financial products and services based on Mudarabah. Next, access to capital. This contract enables the mudarib to receive capital without risking any asset by collateral and minimize interest fees, rather than they ask a loan in conventional bank. Profit sharing. Mudarib has the opportunities to receive profit by successful project or investment without risking their own capital. So that's all for today. Thank you for your nice attention. I hope you find these videos interesting and give you new knowledge.